Hello, this video is for assignment 5, and what I want to talk about is the ways that I can contribute to helping the existing deacon board and the things that I've learned over this past year that are going to help me to be a good member of the deacon board and what I believe are things that are going to help us as a whole, as a group. So to start with, I'll just give the fact that over this past year, we've learned a whole lot of different things. Each of us all had your responsibilities going into this. As far as myself, I was the previous vice president of Brotherhood, and this past year, I have been the president. And in addition to that, I was the secretary of the security ministry and still am, and also am the church coordinator for Compass, Compass Navigating Finances God's Way, in that small group study that we have in Antioch. So, along with those things, going through the deacon training was something that it actually helped me to be able to manage my time a little bit better this past year, given all the current responsibilities I had within the church, as well as responsibilities as a husband and father and worker, employee in my job. Being able to manage my time, I think, is very important, and that's something I think that's going to lend itself very well to my responsibilities as a deacon. One of the most important things I think we learned all year was humility. We started the year, and one of the first books we read or got into was 12 Ordinary Men, and that was actually one of my favorite books. And at the same time, I started a year-long Bible study called Just One More with Deacon Ken Battles and Josiah Perkins, where we meet twice a month on a Tuesday midday to discuss different books. And the first book that we read during the year was called Humility. And so I think that was a very important piece to our training when we talked about humility in 12 Ordinary Men. And I think that also helped give me confidence, as well as the other guys that are going through the training, help give us all confidence to know that we didn't have to be any different than we already were to be better men going forward, and to learn about what it takes to be a good leader and to be a good deacon and to be a good man of God and to be a good person for your family and be a good person to serve the church and to serve the Lord and the pastor. So the other thing that I thought was really valuable was we learned about visiting the sick. And I think Larry Miller was very instrumental in telling us the Bible verses that he uses when he goes out. And I think that was very invaluable in our training. And I think those things, having other deacons come in and speak to us, telling us, different things like guarding our testimony and how that's very important in order to allow people to, believe in you and believe in your mission to bring others to Christ. So I think that was very valuable. The giving, of course, we discussed that. The bylaws and the church structure, learning about all those different things, I think was also very instrumental to molding us into people that are going to be very viable and helpful to the deacon board. And then I think one of the other things, of course, was going to the deacon board meetings. I think that, one of the things that we saw was the structure was somewhat similar to a board meeting that you would see in the secular world. But one of the things I took away from my times in attending the meetings was that, it was sometimes heated, some of the discussions, but the difference between going to a deacon board meeting and going to a secular meeting was that at the end of the deacon board meetings, everybody was okay. We walk out into the halls or even in the room, and people you could see had a disagreement during the meeting. They were smiling at each other, talking. No one took it personal, and so that's something that told me right there that I'm surrounded by a group of godly men, and that's really one of the things that was also just incredibly instrumental for me this year was just a number of people that poured into me and mentored into my life that are current deacons now. Ed Brown, our main facilitator, along with Myron Bryant, the two of them, the sacrifice that they made over this past year in terms of their time and just being there for us, that I think was just amazing. And then for me also, Ken Battles has been very instrumental in helping me. And, I mentioned earlier the study that I've been a part of with him over this past year called Just One More. Deacon Larry Miller, another person that, has had a strong role in mentoring me over the years, as well as many others that I could mention. I thank God for Deacon Brian Williams that trained with us over this year and shared with us the many experiences that he's had as a deacon and just life experiences to help us to cope with our new responsibilities as deacons. So I guess in short, to answer the question, based on all these different things that we've learned, the thing that I believe is going to help improve the deacon board is just we are fresh faces with fresh ideas. But I think the main thing that I've noticed in our group that I think is paramount to helping the church grow and helping the deacon board is that we are all interested in serving. That's, all 7, 8 of us, including Brian, we are all interested in serving, and we come with humble hearts, with ideas, and I think that we have in mind the 3 tables that we have to serve, which of course is the Lord, the pastor, and the poor, and we all have a heart to do that. And I think just adding guys to the group that that mean that take those things seriously and that really want to do them from their heart, I think that right there will immediately help improve the deacon board. I think the deacon board right now is very strong, and I think it will only be stronger with the presence of us new trainees. So anyway, that's my presentation. I've gone well over. Thank God, and bless you all.